All right, we're going to do a vlog edition for you guys today because I have a lot of news and exciting things about the show that I want to share with you guys. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. And just a quick note, the construction outside, I seem to have outsmarted these guys after much toil this morning. They are on their lunch break right now, so hopefully we won't hear any backing up or honking or any of the wild things they're doing out there. If you're interested in knowing, I did a little shot with my iPhone earlier, and you can see that this guy spent most of the morning moving a sign with a ditch digger. I guess that is not movable by hand, and so he made a bunch of noise, and this thing beeps every time it backs up or goes forward. And then after that, this was followed by another guy who came along and measured everything. And so he did this while the first guy was backing down the street. So anyway, this has been quite a challenge to do this show, but I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm going to remain happy. And anyway, because I have exciting stuff to share. So the first thing I want to talk about is Atlanta. Atlanta was awesome. Atlanta, you guys are beautiful. I had a wonderful time. The food in Atlanta is amazing. The people are awesome. We did a meetup, and the reason I went out there was I was invited to go out and film an interview with Barbara and Lynn Bullock, who are Wynn Bullock's daughters. And we had a wonderful time. And when I say we, it is a we this time. John Mason, who is a viewer of the show, graciously volunteered to give me a hand with that. He sent me an email the week before and said, hey, do you need help while you're out there? And I'm like, well, you're asking. So I put him to work. And he was awesome the whole time. He acted as a second cameraman. We did a 3-camera shoot, one stationary, and we both took cameras. For the actual interview, he did a lot of behind-the-scenes footage shooting, and it was really amazing. And he saved me a lot of time and turmoil and all that stuff. So I want to extend a thanks to John. I'm going to link up to his website below. John Mason is a fabulous photographer. He does some really nice work, and follow him on Twitter too, because he's a great guy. And so big thanks to John for helping me out on that. What we ended up coming up with was we did an interview with Lynn and Barbara about their dad, and we did it in the exhibition at the High. We went in there before the museum opened. And the interview is a little over an hour long, and so I'm kind of trying to figure out what I'm going to do with all that footage. And my idea is that I want to do a mini documentary on Wynn Bullock, and I want to use the interview footage. I want to use supplemental footage and maybe some voiceover work and put some music on there and do something that's a little more special than the regular episode that we do on here, since we went to all the trouble to do that in Atlanta. And so watch for that. I'm working on the footage right now. I got it all put together yesterday. I'm going to start editing it down and working with this. And so probably a few weeks, I'll keep you guys posted of when that's going to launch. And just a quick note about Barbara and her sister Lynn. I have worked with a lot of artists, and particularly my time with the museum. And artists can be kind of a pain in the ass. And the Bullock sisters were not. They were by far the nicest and warmest people I've ever worked with. In this type of capacity. They were absolutely a gem to work with. Barbara's husband, Gene, was wonderful. And, I really can't gloat over them enough. They were absolutely fantastic. Spencer, who was one of the guys who came to the meetup, we did the meetup at the High that night. They did a lecture. There was a walk through the exhibition, and we all went to dinner afterwards. And I was talking to Spencer, who came to the meetup, and he said, they really make you feel like they're part of their family, and they really do. We had a group shot taken with everybody. I'll put that on the screen. And it was really fun. We had a wonderful time. Atlanta was fantastic. I'm so glad I went. It was really something interesting, and I really want to do something interesting for you guys who watch the show based on what we got when we were out there. So I'm really excited about that. So anyway, we also did a meetup, and I want to thank everybody for coming to the meetup. I know some people had to come and go during the evening, and I didn't quite get everybody's name. And anyway, we had a fabulous time. It was amazing. So just a couple notes on that. Special thanks to Walter. This is kind of an inside joke. For now, I cannot any longer say megapixels. I have to think about it. Walter got me saying megapickles, and so there was a big joke about megapickles. We were talking about how many gear reviews you see and the ongoing debate of who has the best sensor on the market, and Walter fired on with megapickles, and it was quite hilarious. So anyway, big thanks to him. Also, this is really cool. Aaron, who's one of the guys who came to the meetup, brought me some film, and I have 3 rolls of this here. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but what kind of film are we talking about here? I'm going to be that guy here for a minute. This needs to autofocus. There we go. Look at that. It's Piranha. He brought me 3 rolls of Piranha film. This is the awesome Italian film. Now, this is not new Piranha. Oh, I'm out of focus. By the way, Dave said he would come back on the show. Piranha are funded at this point. $250,000 they raised to make you film. And thanks, guys, for participating in that. I think that's absolutely awesome. So this is not the new Piranha. This is old Piranha stock from when they were in business before. but it is a Chrome E6. Actually, this is a C41. I thought this was E6. All right, so this isn't quite what they're making. This is a C41, but it's 200 ISO. So we'll do some shooting on that in the next couple weeks and kind of experiment and see how that looks. And so extra special thanks to Aaron, who also gave me some tech pan too, for showing up and hanging out and bringing me film. That was really nice of him. He actually brought me a loaded camera and said, here, shoot on this tonight. And I do apologize because a lot of times at the meetups, I end up talking to people and I don't have a lot of time to shoot. So anyway, we didn't get done there, but I brought it back and we're going to shoot some Piranha in the upcoming weeks. So that'll be fun. It also never ceases to amaze me how famous my cats are when I actually meet people and they're like, oh, your cats are great. I forget that they creep around in the video in the back sometimes. Zeter's on the floor over here having a bath, so I won't show him. And Judy, who knows? She disappears during the day. That's like her new thing. She's napping in the closet or something, and she'll wake up around 3 and start begging for attention. So there'll be more cats in upcoming videos. And on a last personal note to Arlenius, I want to make sure, Arlenius, that you take Jaime and get him out more often. This is a big deal. Jaime had a great time at the High, and he works a lot and is in a very demanding line of work. And so I want to see Jaime get out and enjoy photography-related things more often. And so special thanks to John, Ben, Jaime, Arlenius, Pete, and Walter, and many others. Spencer, did I get Ben? I think I got everybody, but I know I'm missing 2 or 3 that just were able to come to the museum part of it. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. We had a wonderful time, and I can't wait to do Atlanta again, hopefully next year. Moving along, I want to do a follow-up on our Twitter episode from the other day. A couple things that came in. It was a very successful episode. People have some wonderful comments, and I got, appropriately, a tweet from somebody who watches the show who brought up something I forgot to mention, and this is actually really cool. This is Terry Porter, and make sure you follow Terry. She is at tporter2 on Twitter, and she tweeted, enjoyed the podcast, what would Ansel tweet? Pinned tweets are a way for a photographer to keep their portfolio viewable. And I did forget to mention this, and if you go to the Twitter website and you look at your own Twitter feed, on all your tweets there's a little more button, I think it's a little icon that it shows on there, and you can actually pin a tweet to the top of your tweet feed. And so this is a really cool way. If you've tweeted a photo and you've got an embedded image, you can only do one at a time, but it's a really good way to keep one of those at the top of that feed. And it's a great way to show off your work. So special thanks to Terry for mentioning that and bringing my attention. One other thing that I did not mention before that I want to mention now is analytics. And if you want to gauge how well your tweeting is going on Twitter or how many followers you have and all that, you can go to a URL. If you're logged into Twitter, go to analytics.twitter.com. That's analytics.twitter.com. And that will give you some analytical numbers of like your reach, how many times you had impressions on different devices or the website. And you can see what tweets that you're tweeting out did better than others. And this is actually useful information, and pay attention to what you're doing. I mean, are you tweeting videos and they're successful? Is it images? Is it just links? Is it just kind of tweets? What gets shared? What gets, seen? And this can help your success on Twitter a great deal too. If you're brand new to Twitter, it'll take a little time before you really start to make sense out of all those numbers, but it's a great tool in terms of helping with your success on Twitter. So those are just a couple things I want to mention about Twitter for photographers as a follow-up to our other episode. And the last thing I want to talk about today is a little story that I've got going on right now, and I need to know your opinion on what you think I should do about this. So I have a friend. She is a curator at the Dallas Museum of Art. Her name is Anne, and she is a longtime friend of mine, and she is a wonderfully fabulous, amazing, kooky old lady, and I just absolutely love Anne. She's great. Anne has had a tough year, and her husband passed away a few months ago, and she's had a tough time with that, and she's had a lot of friends. We've all been there for her. And she called the other day and wanted to know if I was interested in her late husband, Alan, in having his photo enlarger. And I was very flattered that she asked that. He has a Leica, it's a little 35 millimeter photo enlarger, and I thought, this would be great. I could do darkroom stuff. Sure, I'd never turn down a darkroom enlarger. That sounds awesome. So she said, well, you got to come pick it up. And I said, fine. So I went over there yesterday at 5:30 in the afternoon, braved the traffic, got over there. And Anne's place, God bless her, I don't think she sees well, and sometimes things have been sitting for long periods of time, and I'm talking decades. And I went in the little room where they had the enlarger, and it's not that big, but it is big enough, a little too big to fit in the Jeep and a little heavy. And so we were trying to think if we can detach the enlarger from the baseboard, what would we do with it? And I was pulling it out, and I realized it was plugged into the wall. I literally just touched the cord, and sparks start flying up, and I'm like, oh no. I don't know what Alan did, but he managed to solder and fuse a couple like extension cords together, so it's going to require some repair to make this happen. Anyway, so that's the problem one. We did not burn down the house, thank God, but it really was sparking. So I found where these little tiny extension cords led all the way into the other room, unplugged it, so we're safe, got it out. Then we pick up the Enlarger, and I didn't realize this is a swivel head Enlarger, so you can swivel it around depending on what you want to do. And it started swiveling towards me, and I caught it with my face because my hands were on the baseboard, and managed to crack my glasses. This was a bummer. So you can see that nothing with this Enlarger is going easy, if right at all. So unfortunately, we've got a hairline crack now, and it looks like a hair or something on the glasses, and I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do about that. So at this point, I did not get the Enlarger. I told her I would come back tomorrow, being Saturday, and pick this thing up. At this point, I have an Enlarger, and it works, and I use it when I have time, and I really don't even have a lot of time to be using it right now. And so what do I do with a second Enlarger? It's kind of a little big to ship to somebody. It'd be fun to do as a giveaway on the show or somebody. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think I should do with the beast of an Enlarger that is coming to my life now. And I don't know. Maybe we'll figure something out that we can do on the show. Give me your thoughts on the Enlarger. We've got an Enlarger that's coming into play. It needs to be repaired, and it needs to be used because it actually is quite nice. It's a Leica, and so it's got Leica glass on it. It's got 2 lenses. They're intact. Things actually, albeit very dusty and very beautiful shape. It's just the electronics, mainly with the wiring involved to turn the condenser head on and off, is scary, to say the least, and I don't even know if the bulb's working or not. So I'll keep you posted, but leave me a comment and let me know how that should go. Seems like there was something else. Oh, I was going to mention this. So it always never ceases to amaze me how famous my cats are, so we'll incorporate them a little more into the show. Zeter's having a nap over here, and Judy's doing this thing where we lose her during the day. I don't even know where she is. She's napping in the closet. It's just very funny because they appear behind me at times, and when we do meetups and people mention the cats, it's always kind of funny how, they're part of the thing, and I'm always like, wow, my cats are famous. So anyway, guys, it's been another edition of the vlog. I'll see you guys in the next episode. We got another one coming out Sunday. See you then. Later.